St. Luke, also known as Luke the Evangelist, was a physician, historian, and early Christian missionary who is best known as the author of the Gospel of Luke and the Acts of the Apostles, two books of the New Testament. Early life and background. According to the Bible, Luke was not one of the 12 apostles, but he was a companion of the Apostle Paul and likely a Gentile convert to Christianity. He is believed to have been born in Antioch, a city in modern-day Turkey, and to have been a Greek-speaking physician by profession. He is not mentioned by name in the Bible, but he is believed to have been the beloved physician mentioned in Colossians 4:14. It is also believed that he was a well-educated and prosperous individual, as he was able to travel extensively with Paul and to provide for himself and Paul while they were on mission trips. Luke is believed to have been a Gentile convert to Christianity, which is supported by the fact that he addresses his gospel to a Greek-speaking individual named Theophilus. This suggests that his intended audience was primarily non-Jewish, and that he wrote his gospel in Greek, the language of the educated elite in the Eastern Roman Empire. It is also believed that Luke had a deep understanding of Jewish customs, laws, and traditions, which is evident in his gospel. He also had a good knowledge of the Roman world, as he was able to provide accurate historical details in his gospel and the book of Acts. Luke's interest in history and his background as a physician also shines through in his writings. The Gospel of Luke is notable for its detailed accounts of the birth of Jesus, his ministry, and his death and resurrection, while the book of Acts is a historical account of the early Christian church and the spread of Christianity. His interest in history and his background as a physician is also evident in the way he writes about Jesus' healings and miracles. He provides detailed accounts of the people he healed, their illnesses, and the methods he used to heal them. Writing the Gospel of Luke. Luke's Gospel is the third book of the New Testament. It is a detailed account of the life and teachings of Jesus, including his birth, ministry, death, and resurrection. It is the longest of the four Gospels, and it is considered to be the most comprehensive. It is also the only Gospel to include the story of the birth of John the Baptist, the story of the Annunciation to Mary, and the parables of the Good Samaritan, the prodigal son, and the Pharisee and the publican. Luke's Gospel is also known for its emphasis on the compassion and inclusiveness of Jesus, and for its portrayal of women and other marginalized groups. It is believed that Luke wrote his Gospel with a Gentile audience in mind, and it is addressed to an individual named Theophilus. It is believed that Luke used various sources while writing his Gospel, such as oral traditions, written accounts, and possibly the other Gospels that existed at the time. One of the most notable features of Luke's Gospel is its emphasis on the humanity of Jesus. It is the only Gospel that gives an account of the birth of Jesus, and it also emphasizes the role of women in Jesus' ministry. It also includes accounts of the healing of the poor and the marginalized, such as the story of the Good Samaritan and the prodigal son. Luke also places a strong emphasis on the role of the Holy Spirit in the life of Jesus and the early Christian community. The Gospel of Luke is the only one that contains the account of the Annunciation and the account of the Pentecost. This emphasis on the Holy Spirit is also evident in the book of Acts, which is believed to be written by Luke as well. The Gospel of Luke is also considered to be one of the most accurate historical accounts of the life of Jesus. It is believed that Luke used a variety of sources, including oral traditions, written accounts, and possibly the other Gospels that existed at the time. He is believed to have interviewed many of the people who were present during the events of Jesus' life, and he is also believed to have used official Roman records to provide accurate historical context for his account. Writing the Acts of the Apostles. Luke's second book, The Acts of the Apostles, is a history of the early Christian church and the spread of Christianity. It covers the period from Jesus' ascension to Paul's imprisonment in Rome. It is a continuation of the Gospel of Luke, and it is believed to have been written after the Gospel of Luke. Acts provides a detailed account of the early Christian church, including the spread of the gospel, the formation of the first Christian communities, and the persecution of the early Christians. It also provides an account of the lives and teachings of Peter, James, and Paul, and it is considered as an important source of information on the early Christian church. One of the key themes in Acts is the spread of Christianity from Jerusalem to the rest of the Roman Empire, with a particular emphasis on the role of the apostles in this process. It also provides detailed accounts of the early Christian church's organization, including the appointment of the 7 deacons, the Council of Jerusalem, and the election of Matthias to replace Judas Iscariot as one of the 12 apostles. Acts also provides valuable insight into the relationship between Christianity and the Roman Empire, as it covers the period of the Roman Empire's transition from a tolerant attitude towards new religious movements to a more hostile stance. It also provides accounts of the persecution of the early Christians by the Roman authorities, as well as the various trials and imprisonment of the apostles, particularly Paul. One of the most striking aspects of Acts is its emphasis on the role of the Holy Spirit in the early Christian church. The book begins with the descent of the Holy Spirit on the apostles at Pentecost. And it is through the power of the Spirit that the early Christian church is able to perform miracles and spread the gospel. Death and legacy. The exact details of St. Luke's death are not well known, but tradition holds that he died a martyr's death in the 1st century AD. According to one tradition, he was martyred in Greece, where he had preached the gospel. Another tradition states that he was martyred in Thebes, where he had preached the gospel and converted many to Christianity. He is also said to have been hanged on an olive tree by idol worshippers or been crucified. St. Luke's writings have had a significant impact on Christianity and the history of the world. His gospel is considered as one of the most important sources of information on the life and teachings of Jesus, and his book of Acts is considered as an important source of information on the early Christian church. His writings continue to be studied and admired by Christians around the world, and his legacy continues to this day. He is the patron saint of physicians and surgeons due to his profession as a physician, and also the patron saint of artists, as his gospel is considered to be a literary masterpiece. He is also the patron saint of butchers, as one tradition states that he was martyred by being skinned alive. His writings have been widely read and studied throughout the centuries, and his gospel is considered to be one of the most important sources of information on the life and teachings of Jesus. His account of the life and teachings of Jesus is considered to be one of the most balanced and well-written of the 4 Gospels. His writing style is considered to be elegant, and his writings are considered to be a literary masterpiece. He is considered to be one of the most important figures in early Christianity, and his writings continue to be an important source of inspiration and guidance for Christians today.